How are we doing, guys? Today I'm gonna go through some of the my top picks for who I think you guys should go for in the um, rookie premiere promo. So if you guys got those cards or if you did some of the promo, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna show you guys who I think some of the best picks would be. So starting our first, as you guys can see, I think Christian Barmore. This list is going from 10 to 1, so who I least think you should pick to who I think you should most pick. And like I said, number one is Christian Barmore. His card is not something that you're really going to use a lot. I feel like you're not going to get the most out of that card. It's a DT, um, slow DT, um, good strength, yes, but um, I feel like for me when I use my DT, I want him to be a little bit more. I either want him to be dominant in run stopping or be a very good pass rusher, whether it be power move or finesse move. And I feel like his card just doesn't give you that. It's a solid card if you're a Pats fan, if you're an Alabama fan, go for it. But for me, especially a lot of times the scheme I run, I don't use a lot of DTs. Um, so I'd rather something more um, that I feel like I'm going to get more use out of. And you'll see some of the cards that we have later, um, and why I think that those cards are the best to go with. Um, the second, the number 9 option that I have is actually Trevor Lawrence. Um, I don't think he's been that low at anything in his life, but for here, it's a solid card. Again, and for all of these, if you're a fan of this particular player or you're a fan of this team, you want to make a theme team, 100%, you pick that player, you keep them, especially because I'm sure you'll have a lot more fun using a card that you enjoy. The Trevor Lawrence card, solid card, good throw power, um, has at least 80 in about all of his throwing accuracies. But for me, if you're gonna get one of the MVP or the Dynasty edition of the game, you're gonna have Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. So I feel like that's kind of just a better, easier um, start for you. This way you can focus these rookie premier cards, on something that you're gonna need a little more help with. Um, so that's my second option. My third option would be to go for Najee Harris. And don't get me wrong, this is a very solid card. 87 speed out of a running back is always good. You're always going to get good value out of that. But in my opinion, you they're going to have those team builders, and they're going to have a handful of running backs that are um, just quick, agile, going to have better acceleration, better speed, and I'm going to run with something like that. Like last year, they had that 84 Cam Akers that everyone they did their solos, and then you had a believe he was 88 speed or 90 speed. You had a very fast running back to start with that was very cheap to get. So that's something that I would kind of lean towards. Um, then you have Jalen Phillips, and at this point, it's really going on preference on how you want to build your team. Because, like I said, all of these players are going to be excellent picks. Um, Jalen Phillips is someone who I personally will not be taking, but is a great card. You're going to get excellent speed, so you throw him on the edge, um, and he'll be an amazing QB contain, even better QB spy. My whole thing is with only 81 finesse move, with the 81 finesse move being really his only way of getting to the passer, um, is not my favorite. But like I said, if you get him in one, if you get him, you're set. Now you have someone who you can always throw out there as a QB spy, always throw out there on the edge. When you're facing someone who's got like a Lamar Jackson or a fast quarterback who's trying to get out of the pocket. So this is someone who will be very helpful to you when, especially in the beginning uh, of your ultimate team. Um, Next, I have what may be a surprise pick, Elijah Vera Tucker, the offensive lineman from the Jets. He's someone who I think you can never go wrong with taking an offensive lineman. I always hate having to buy offensive linemen because they always just tend to be super expensive, and you never really you want to use your coins on somebody who you feel is going to be a little more flashy. You're going to get to see a little more. Um, and that being someone more like a skill position, like a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, maybe a corner or a safety. Um, but this Elijah Vera Tucker card, it's a very solid card. You'll be able to throw that. I believe he was a right guard, but I'm not sure if he'll be one of the guard positions. You'll throw him there, and you'll be set for a couple months. As long as if you're not trying to have a god squad, he'll be solid on any team for quite a while. So that's something that is very good. My next option that I'm going to go with is Kyle Pitts. You can never go wrong with speed, especially in Ultimate Team. Having this much speed at the tight end position, 88 speed, he's going to be one of the faster players in Ultimate Team. He'll be able to outrun most cornerbacks, most um, as in most quarterbacks, most safeties, most people's user, especially in the beginning of the game. So this is someone who will be very helpful because of that speed. The run blocking is not great, but this is someone who you're throwing out. He's going to be one of your main targets in the offense. He's someone who actually I could see uh, making an argument for having higher on this list, just because of the sole purpose that speed. His route running is decent, but he's not going to be hitting any of like the elite route running thresholds, which is at a 90. Um, but you can't go wrong with this card, especially because you could throw this at your tight end, and with 88 speed, you're set for a while. We have to see kind of how the meta is. If the meta is more just kind of press man like it was last year, which I hope it's not because that was just not fun to play against. But if it is, then that route running may come back to bite you. But if it's not, if the meta isn't man coverage, then that card will be solid for a very long time. The next choice that I have is Micah Parsons. And this card comes with a very, very big asterisk next to it, this ranking. If we're back like in Madden 21, where linebackers are useless, where they don't get the animations, they're not kind of as good. If that's the case, then obviously this card drops much lower on the kind of ranking for the sole purpose of if I like to user either a linebacker or a safety, and if your middle linebackers are useless, especially with only a 64 zone coverage, is this kind of someone who's just going to be just a liability. He'll have great speed, great acceleration to kind of keep with players if that user is if you're able to use your linebackers this year. So this comes with a big asterisk. The next card that I have is Trayvon Morig. Actually, no, the next player that I have is J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn is a very solid cornerback. 89 speed, 89 acceleration. So right off the bat, you're not going to be getting burnt by many people. He's someone who's going to be you can throw in coverage. He'll be fine. He gets that 82 man coverage, so decent. At least it's above 80 zone. Not the greatest, but now with chemistries being a lot easier, at least they seem like they're going to be much easier, where you don't have to power up every single player, just a card. It'll be very easy to get them up to 80, get them kind of like that next threshold. Because this way, all the thresholds kind of will determine what type of animations you get and how they'll perform. So this is something that, especially if you get them up to an 80 with 89 speed, 89 acceleration, and 90 jumping, this is someone who's going to be very helpful, very useful, kind of defending a very fast receiver. Next is Trayvon Morig, who this is now number 2 on my list. So this is someone who I will probably end up with because I did a couple of the rookie premieres. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 81 zone, 86 hit power. So if Madden 22 is similar to Madden 21, where you can't use our linebacker and you need, excuse me, if Madden 22 is similar to Madden 21, where you can only use your safeties and linebackers are pretty much useless, this is something that's going to be very helpful. This is a card that's going to be great for you because 90 speed, 90 excel. He's going to be able to run around the field, make all the plays you need. And with 86 hit power, he will be able to lay a couple hit sticks. And if you can force fumbles a little more in Madden 22, this is something that's going to be a menace to people all around. But the number 1 card, the person who is going to be an absolute menace to everybody, is this Jamar Chase card. 91 speed. That's all I need to say. Route running is decent. Like I said earlier, with chemistries, you should be able to get this up a little. Get the route running up to at least 80 for everything. But 91 speed is always going to be the most important thing in Madden. And with 91 speed, as you mentioned, as you saw, no one else has that speed. No one else can keep with him. So this is someone who's going to be, like I said, a menace to everyone. It's going to be impossible to stay with him. This is someone who's going to have to demand the attention of the other person at all times, or else he's going to burn you deep, sideways, in, out, wherever. This speed is something that is going to be a menace to everyone. Um, if you guys have any, if you guys agree with my list, disagree with my list, please let me know down below. It'd be awesome to get feedback from you guys. See how you see what you guys are gonna do in Madden 22. How you guys are gonna start this off. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Thanks, I appreciate it. Peace. Take care, everyone.